In this lecture, we are going to discuss aging by taking a historical journey that has brought us ever closer to the understanding and treatment of aging as a disease. Let's start by looking at how aging was understood, defined, and treated in ancient times, and how it was viewed by society. Aging is a universal process that eventually affects absolutely everyone. It isn't surprising that since ancient times, people have wondered about aging, trying to explain the gradual wear and tear of the human body. Prior to Hippocrates, aging was attributed to metaphysical, often demonic causes. The Hippocratic corpus was revolutionary in its explanation of aging by natural phenomena. Hippocrates defined aging as a gradual and progressive loss of heat from the body. According to the humoral theory, this loss made the body colder and drier, making it similar to Earth. The corpus described a number of diseases linked to aging and postulated that old people lost their ability to fight disease. The Greek thinker Aristotle also built his theory of aging on the idea of increasing heat loss. He believed that all humans were born with a limited amount of energy, the vital force, which was consumed throughout life. Aristotle stated that aging could be treated by restoring the lost energy, but he believed that it could never be brought back to its original level. The view of aging as a disease was rejected by Galen, who believed that disease was contrary to nature, and since aging was the most natural and inevitable process, it could not be considered a disease. For Galen, aging was a weird state between health and disease. He and his followers treated aging by recommending a moderate lifestyle as well as diet and exercise aimed to increase heat and moisture. Galen also coined the term gerochemy, care for the aged, which could be considered the equivalent of geriatric medicine in the ancient world. In ancient Greece, children very seldom took care of their old parents. Older people were often abandoned, treated as madmen, or even put to death. Society perceived them as greedy for life, grumpy, and prone to constantly criticizing the youth. Eastern cultures usually held a more positive view of older people, perceiving them as repositories of wisdom and experience. In Middle Ages, views on aging were mostly shaped by Christian dogma rather than rational thought. The main focus was shifted towards afterlife. This life wasn't the real one, so people should bear the suffering of old age and prepare for the real, eternal afterlife. Aging and disease were seen as punishments for original sin. The renowned physician of the pre-Renaissance era, Paracelsus, believed that men were innately prone to corruption, which led to the manifestation of the apparent symptoms of aging. Paracelsus compared life to fire and thought that it could constantly be rejuvenated with new wood. Along with nutrition advice, he talked about mystical measures such as the fifth essence. However, although Paracelsus thought that curing aging was possible, he thought that doing so would be unchristian and against nature. With the advent of enlightenment, medical texts started to appear that focused on the physical causes of aging. 18th century physicians tried to identify age-related illnesses, and increased secularization shifted society's attention from afterlife, making doctors try to identify ways to improve the health of elderly in real life. The modern times saw the continuation of the age-old debate on whether aging was a disease or a natural process. In the 19th and 20th centuries, advances in science and technology gave rise to increasingly more sophisticated theories of aging, which could broadly be classified into three groups: program theories, combined theories, and damage theories. As the name implies, program theories are based on the idea that we are evolutionarily programmed to age and die in order to avoid overpopulation and promote adaptation. Damage theories, on the contrary, reject the idea of an evolutionary program and explain aging by accumulation of damage. Typically, the 20th century damage theories attributed aging to some single cause, be it reactive oxygen species, mitochondrial decline, or extracellular matrix crosslinks. Combined theories represent the effort to create a unified theory of aging. The proponents of these theories defined aging as a universal, intrinsic, progressive, and deleterious phenomenon. As a result of remarkable medical advances, the human lifespan nearly doubled in the 20th century. Mortality from infectious diseases dropped significantly, making age-related diseases like heart disease or Alzheimer's the primary causes of death in the developed world. Yet there was still no treatment for aging other than the centuries-old lifestyle advice. For most of human history, the symptoms of aging had always been the outward familiar signs like the graying of hair or the appearance of wrinkles. The 21st century saw an unprecedented effort of revealing increasingly subtler symptoms of aging on the most basic molecular level. Processes such as cellular senescence, telomere attrition, genomic instability, or molecular cross-linking are now well-established hallmarks of aging. Various research groups are working on the creation of aging clocks that would be able to assess the level of molecular damage of a person, determining her biological age. Today's science has largely evolved towards the realization that there is no single cause of aging. Rather, it is a result of systemic damage on multiple levels that accumulates over time, producing age-related morbidity. This definition also implies that aging can be slowed or reversed through the consistent removal of molecular damage or the upgrading of maintenance processes. As we saw in our lecture, people in all epochs had musings about aging and the crippled state associated with it. The modern Western world holds contradictory views on aging, both stigmatizing it but also talking about embracing aging and aging gracefully. At the same time, the desire for youth has sparked the creation of an entire industry of fake anti-aging treatments that often declare their claims to have a scientific basis. Unfortunately, this may cause significant harm to actual aging research. Disappointed of sensationalist claims and useless products, society loses trust in the possibility of treating aging and is often unable to distinguish real science from marketing tricks. Today, there are many promising approaches towards finally creating treatments for aging, and some of them are already in clinical trials, such as the removal of senescent cells. But the field is getting much less funding than it deserves. Right now, in 2020, for the first time in human history, there are more people above the age of 60 than below the age of 5 on the planet. And this trend is only projected to continue. To avoid serious social and economic crisis, the government should be urged to make aging research a priority to ensure a healthy and productive life for people in old age.